The water-bearing layer of the Earth is called hydrosphere. Smart move. False is an accurate answer. Which type of media is known for broadcasting in real time? Solid response. Broadcast media is a valid choice. Mediterranean forests are known as dash for their cultivation. Nice work. You chose Orchards of the World, and it is correct. What is a key challenge in regulating social media content? Good job. Your answer rapid spread of information works well here. Multiple choice questions. All India Radio is also known as. Exactly. Be Akashvani makes sense and it is right choice. Genre can only be applied to films, TV programs and games. Correct response. False is the most accurate answer. Which of the following is not the example of digital media? Correct. Book is the right answer. TV or radio program that is widely transmitted is called. Great job. Broadcast is the accurate answer. Rainwater harvesting is one of the ways to conserve water. Perfect. True is the correct choice. Which of the following is an example of independent media? Right choice. Sky News is the best answer. Identify the technical element in a detective movie scene. Excellent. Camera angles is a brilliant choice. Which of the following is an example of state-owned media? Nice selection. BBC is the correct and valid answer. What is the range of the set of numbers 7, 14, 21, 28, 35? Smart pick. 28 is the correct choice. Determine the mode of this set. 10, 10, 20, 30, 30, 40. Strong choice. 30 is the right answer. Interpret the range of the data set 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Well reasoned. 25 is the correct choice. Which of the following is not a purpose of media products? Sharp thinking. To confuse is the right choice. What can affect how people understand issues in the media? Good thinking. Framing of news stories is the right answer. What is the primary purpose of media ownership regulation? Excellent choice. To increase media diversity is the right answer. Which of the following helps in keeping audiences engaged? You're right. Interactivity in animation is the correct answer. 3. Select the media which belongs to the electronic media. You got it. Your choice television is right. In the dataset 233577778, what is the mode? Valid point. 7 is true. Which of the following is a prop that symbolizes romance? Great thinking. Heart is the right choice. The process of seeping of water into the ground is called. Right again. Infiltration is a valid answer. What is the primary focus of public service broadcasting? Bravo. Serving the public interest is the answer. What is the purpose of identifying propaganda strategies? On track. To recognize different strategies is the correct answer. What is the main benefit of using visualization diagrams? Well done. Saving time and money is the right choice. Writing a balanced report depends on the media being dash. You chose independent, and it is correct. If the numbers are 8, 6, 7, 5, and 9, what is the median? Well picked. 7 is the correct answer. Which of the following is a key ethical concern in media? Clear logic. Your choice defamation is sound and 100% true. 7th, print and electronic media are the two types of media. Nicely done. True is a solid answer. Find the median of this data set, the 12, 15, 11, 14, 10. Nicely done. 12.5 is a solid answer. What technique do advertisers use to persuade consumers? Correct. Emotional appeal is the right answer. What is the range of the set of numbers 2, 6, 9, 13, 20? You chose 18, and it is correct. Independent media has reliable and unbiased information. Well done. True is the right choice. Babur defeated the Lodi army in the battlefield of Dash. Perfect. Panipat is the correct choice. Media is biased when it does not show a balanced report. Smart pick. True is the correct choice. Which professionals might create visualization diagrams? You got it. Your choice, graphic designers, is right. Which tool is mentioned for creating wireframe layouts? Solid response. Figma is a valid choice. Music in sound design is primarily used to set the dash. Correct response. Mood is the most accurate answer. Form of media that reaches millions of people at a time. Nice selection. Mass media is the correct and valid answer. Which of the following is a sign of a credible sources? Valid point. Peer-reviewed articles is true. Who uses the visualization diagram once it is approved? Exactly. Developers make sense and it is right choice. In the set 6, 9, 9, 11, 12, which number is the median? You're right. 9 is the correct answer. Fast cuts in editing are used to create a sense of dash. On track. Tension is the correct answer. What is the mode of the set of numbers 5, 7, 7, 9, 12? Good job. Your answer 7 works well here. If the data set is 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, what is the median? Good thinking. 8 is the right answer. What is the median of these grades? 8, 5, 90, 78, 88, 92. Well picked. 88 is the correct answer.
What does the color blue typically represent in media?
Nice work. You chose trust and it is correct. Dash refused to accept the Mughal authority for a long. Great thinking. Sisodia Rajputs is the right choice. What is the median of these scores? 88, 92, 76, 85, 90? Great job. 88 is the accurate answer. Tribes were not divided into numerous unequal classes. Sharp thinking. True is the right choice.
Government uses dash to ban the content shown by media.
Bravo. Censorship is the answer. Which media type uses a one-to-one marketing approach? Well reasoned. Direct advertising is the correct choice. Groundwater will not be depleted due to afforestation. Clear logic. Your choice true is sound and 100% true. What role does print media play among educated elites? F. Excellent choice. Primary news source is the right answer. Which media type is known as the oldest form of media? Right again. Print media is a valid answer. The latest development in India is the construction of. Smart move. Expressways is an accurate answer. Find the range of the dataset 42, 35, 47, 50, 38, 41. Right choice. 8 is the best answer.
Which type of media includes newspapers and magazines?
Excellent. Print and publishing is a brilliant choice. Changing technologies help media to reach more people. Strong choice. True is the right answer. Which one of the following is important in a democracy? Solid response. Independent media is a valid choice. Without media, our life will be simple and beautiful. On track. No is the correct answer. When did Humayun re-establish Mughal Empire in India? Excellent choice. 1530 AD is the right answer. What is typically not included in a wireframe layout? Nicely done. Actual images is a solid answer. A closed text restricts parse. Right choice. True is the best answer. Electronic typewriting on journalism was invented in. Excellent. 1940 is a brilliant choice. Advertisements, mainly focused on seeking attention of. Bravo. Consumer is the answer. The media plays an important role in setting the dash. Great job. Agenda is the accurate answer. All animals and plants contain large amount of water. Perfect. True is the correct choice. Determine the median of this set 9, 3, 5, 7, 1, 8, 6. You chose 6, and it is correct. Calculate the median of this list 4, 8, 6, 10, 2, 12. Clear logic. Your choice 7 is sound and 100% true. Which of the following is not a type of media source? Nice selection. Verbal media is the correct and valid answer. Asking the government to rethink its program called Smart Pick. Public protest is the correct choice. Which software might be used to create a storyboard? Strong choice. Toon Boom Storyboard Pro is the right answer. Which body would classify a new film for UC cinemas? Right again. BBFC is a valid answer. Babar defeated Ibrahim Lodi at Panipat in which year? Your answer 1526 works well here. What role does Ofcom play in the OK media landscape? Valid point. It regulates communication services is true. Newspapers and magazines are example of print media. Good thinking. True is the right answer. What is the range of the numbers 10, 15, 20, 25, 30? Great thinking. 20 is the right choice. Chareja and Bahots were made of how many villages? Smart move. A8412 is an accurate answer. Water table is constant at every place on the earth. Nice work. You chose false and it is correct. What can photographers use to challenge stereotypes? Well done. Environmental portraits is the right choice. How many people typically make up a mediation panel? Correct response. 3 is the most accurate answer. What is the final competency listed in the diagram? Sharp thinking. Reflect is the right choice. Which of these is not a technique to conserve water? Well picked. Evaporation is the correct answer. Dash insulted Shivaji when he came to accept Mughal. You're right. Aurangzeb is the correct answer. Which of the following is not a form of propaganda? Exactly. Scientific journals make sense and it is right choice. Between which periods media was censored in India? Correct. 1975-1977 is the right answer. In areas of hot climate, houses have slanting roofs? Well reasoned. False is the correct choice. Name one example of an alternative media platform. You got it. Your choice community radio station is right. Media should not be under the influence of anybody. Perfect. True is the correct choice. As a solid, water exists as ice caps at the poles. Bravo. True is the answer. What is one essential skill for a career in media? Smart move. Social media savvy is an accurate answer. Media decides which subject to highlight and hence. Good thinking. Sets the agenda is the right answer. Can you give an example of a social media channel? You're right. Facebook is the correct answer. Which of the following is not a common film genre? Excellent. Textbook is a brilliant choice. What does the color red signify in media products? Valid point. Danger is true.
On which basis are the cost of advertisements set?
Excellent choice. Popularity of channel is the right answer. Which amendment protects the freedom of the press? Strong choice. First Amendment is the right answer. Which of the following is not considered a medium? Well picked. Furniture is the correct answer. The Ahom state depended upon forced labors called. Well reasoned. Pax is the correct choice. Which of the following is affected by television? You chose all of the above. And it is correct. A newspaper by 8 Dalit women in Uttar Pradesh. Nice selection. Kabalaharya is the correct and valid answer. Which societies doesn't follow rules by Brahmin? Right choice. Sea tribes is the best answer. Printing press was invented by Johannes Gutenberg. Correct response. True is the most accurate answer. The purpose of media to entertain can be seen in. Good job. Your answer, comedy TV shows, works well here. Which competency involves evaluating information? Well done. Analyze and evaluate is the right choice. What type of media is a podcast considered to be? On track. Digital audio broadcast is the correct answer. Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter are forms of dash. Great thinking. Social media is the right choice. Which social media platform do you use the most? Smart pick. TikTok is the correct choice. Media do not advertise business houses' products. Clear logic. Your choice false is sound and 100% true. Recent development in the field of media is dash. Exactly. Cable TV makes sense and it is right choice. What is important for writing a balanced report? Nice work. You chose an independent media and it is correct. Why is it necessary for media to be independent? Great job. To write balanced report is the accurate answer. Which type of media is important in a democracy? You got it. Your choice independent media is right. Worldwide famous celebrity is not an influencer. Solid response. False is a valid choice. What is the primary concern of media regulation? Sharp thinking. Ensuring fair competition is the right choice. Advertisements are not repeated as it costs much. Right again. False is a valid answer. Thorny shrubs and scrubs grow in the dash region. Nicely done. Dry is a solid answer. Dash and dash are a recent phenomenon in the media. Correct. Cable TV and internet is the right answer. Tropical evergreen forests are also called dash. You got it. Your choice rainforest is right.
Media can give positive hand to public protest.
Good thinking. True is the right answer. Akbar was dash years old when he became emperor. Nice selection. 13 is the correct and valid answer. Do you prefer watching movies or reading books? Nice work. You chose watching movies and it is correct. What is another term for a video media product? Smart move. Audio-visual product is an accurate answer. Which of the following comes under print media? Excellent choice. Newspaper is the right answer. What is the range of the set 8, 14, 22, 29, 35? Sharp thinking. 27 is the right choice. The main source of income of the mass media is excellent. Advertising is a brilliant choice. Who was the inventor of mechanical television? You chose John Baird, and it is correct. Newspapers and TV channels are controlled by... Solid response. Big business houses is a valid choice.
What does the gesture of open hands symbolize?
Nicely done. Welcoming is a solid answer. Which media started advertising traditionally? Bravo, newspapers is the answer. Tropical deciduous forests are also called dash. Good job. Your answer monsoon forest works well here. What is the median distance of the bike rides? On track, 5.5 miles is the correct answer. Technology has helped the spread of news faster. Right again. True is a valid answer. What is the singular form of the term media? Great thinking. Medium is the right choice. Movable type printing was invented in China by... Well picked. By wins is the correct answer. Government control over the media is known as... Great job. Censorship is the accurate answer. The three states of water are interchangeable. Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice.
What does media literacy empower people to be?
You're right. Critical thinkers and makers is the correct answer.
What is the main source of news in mass media?
Well done. All of the above is the right choice.
Which invention has brought the world closure?
Correct. Television is the right answer.
Baba defeated the Dash army in April 1526 ad.
Strong choice. Lodi is the right answer.
What is a common technique used in propaganda?
Right choice. Emotional appeal is the best answer.
Water on the earth has been maintained due to.
Correct response. Water cycle is the most accurate answer.
The dash used in mass media keeps on changing.
Perfect. Technology is the correct choice.
What is the setting of the actor's interview?
Valid point. Saturday Night Live is true.
Which of the following are the form of media?
Smart pick. All of the above is the correct choice.
Journalism underwent a sea change in the dash.
Clear logic. Your choice 1940s is sound and 100% true.
The Mughals were proud of their dash. Ancestry?
Well reasoned. Timurid is the correct choice.
Which is referred as lighthouse of democracy.
Right again. The press or newspaper is a valid answer.
In nature, water exists only as liquid water.
Good job. Your answer false works well here. What does a storyboard typically consist of? Valid point. Scene illustrations and descriptions is true.
Effects in sound design add dash to a scene.
Solid response. Realism is a valid choice.
He coined the term global village in 1964.
Good thinking. Marshal McLuhan is the right answer.
Babur succeeded to the throne of Fergana in?
On track. 1494 is the correct answer.
Which is the main source of income of media?
Right choice. Advertisement is the best answer.
Media is the plural form of the word medium.
Smart move. False is an accurate answer.
Are systems of signs which create meaning.
You got it? Your choice codes is right.
Which of the following comprise mass media?
Sharp thinking. All of these is the right choice.
Censorship goes in the favor of the media.
Correct. False is the right answer.
It is necessary for media to provide a dash.
Strong choice. Balanced report is the right answer.
Cost of giving an advertisement depends on.
Clear logic. Your choice channel is sound and 100% true.
What can influential media products affect?
Well picked. Political change is the correct answer.
Mass media includes which of the following?
Well reasoned. All of these is the correct choice.
Our body contains dash % portion of water.
Perfect. 75 is the correct choice.
Movies that are designed to make us laugh.
Well done. Comedy is the right choice.
Using body language is dash communication.
Nice selection. Nonverbal is the correct and valid answer.
The use of bold text is primarily for dash.
You chose importance, and it is correct. The mother of Jahangir was a dash princess. Smart pick, nearby is the correct choice.
Which English trader described the Banjars?
Exactly. B. Peter Mundy makes sense, and it is right choice. Every drop counts is a slogan related to. Great thinking. Importance of water is the right choice. What is a key component of media literacy? Great job. Understanding media messages is the accurate answer. Which one of the following is print media? Correct response. Newspaper is the most accurate answer. What is the prescription period for libel? You're right. 1 year is the correct answer. How much time do you spend on media daily? Nicely done. Approximately 3-5 hours is a solid answer. March 26 is celebrated as World Water Day. Excellent choice. False is the right answer. Printing press was invented by Johnny Tepp. Bravo. False is the answer.
Dash refers to all means of communication.
Nice work. You chose media and it is correct. Who printed the first sheet of the Bible? Excellent. Johannes Gutenberg is a brilliant choice. How does the ASA enforce its regulations? You chose by banning non-compliant ads, and it is correct. Identify which one is incorrectly matched. Excellent. Mobile mass media is a brilliant choice. How can politicians gauge public opinion? Well picked. Through public opinion polls is the correct answer. And dash media is important in a democracy. Smart move. Independent is an accurate answer. Name one type of media you use every day. Nice selection. Social media is the correct and valid answer.
Satellite is a revolutionized mass media.
Sharp thinking. True is the right choice. What is a key feature of broadcast media? Smart pick. Reaches large audiences quickly is the correct choice. What is the watchdog role of the media? Correct. To monitor government actions is the right answer. Dash, and dash A are examples of print media. Solid response. Newspapers, Gaska magazines is a valid choice. Which has brought the world closer to us? Perfect. Television is the correct choice.
All media texts are influenced by others.
Exactly. True makes sense and it is right choice. Which of these is a part of print media? Clear logic. Your choice newspaper is sound and 100% true.
What is not a component of a storyboard?
Well done. Sound effects is the right choice. Which of these is not electronic media? Right again. Newspaper is a valid answer.
TV images travel huge distances through.
You're right. Satellites and cables is the correct answer. Name the new religion founded by Akbar. Great thinking. Din Ayal is the right choice. What might the color yellow connotate? Excellent choice. Warmth, optimism, and caution is the right answer. Dash is known as the lungs of the earth. Nicely done. Tropical evergreen forest is a solid answer.
What is a common reason for media bias?
Strong choice. Funding from advertisers is the right answer. Advertisements are shown in dash media. Well reasoned. All of the above is the correct choice. What is propaganda primarily used for? Good thinking. To persuade public opinion is the right answer. What is an example of broadcast media? Bravo. Radio is the answer. The letter stands for which brand? Right choice. Nilla wafers is the best answer. From when till when was the emergency? You got it? Your choice 1975-1977 is right. This means a medium of communication. Valid point. Media is true. Name a type of social media platform. Good job. Your answer Facebook works well here. Grasslands grow in the region of dash.
Correct response. Moderate rain is the most accurate answer.
Media is the plural form of word dash. On-track medium is the correct answer. What can media representations shape?
Great job. Our perceptions of reality is the accurate answer.
What does the acronym ADA stand for? Nice work. You chose attention, interest, desire, action, and it is correct. Identify an examples of a closed text. Excellent. Recipe is a brilliant choice. Fen of media refers to all means of dash. You got it? Your choice communication is right. What is your favorite type of media?
Well picked. Books is the correct answer.
What is the plural form of medium?
Well reasoned. Media is the correct choice. Magazine is an example of dash media. Right choice. Print is the best answer. How often do you consume news media? Great job. Daily is the accurate answer. This media brought the world closer. Great thinking. Television is the right choice. International Year of Fresh Water is. Sharp thinking. 2003 is the right choice. Media requires dash to run smoothly. Valid point. Money is true. Kabar Waviria is published in dash.
Smart move. Bundali is an accurate answer.
Merenisa received the title dash.
Bravo. Noor Jahan is the answer. What is the median time in seconds?
Nice selection. 72 seconds is the correct and valid answer.
Water is essential only for animals.
Nice work. You chose false and it is correct.
What represents water in solid form?
Solid response. Snow is a valid choice.
Mass media earns money through dash.
Perfect. Advertisement is the correct choice. Sometimes media acts as a watchdog. Correct response. True is the most accurate answer. Advertisements are made to promote.
You chose all. And it is correct.
Water below the ground is known as. Good thinking. Groundwater is the right answer. Which occupation tribal people did? Strong choice. All of this is the right answer. What can media messages influence? Clear logic. Your choice, beliefs, and attitudes is sound and 100% true. Media should destroy the morality. Right again? No is a valid answer. Which are examples of mass media? You're right. All of these is the correct answer. What are the main types of media? Nicely done. Print, broadcast, digital is a solid answer. The first Mughal emperor was Dash. Smart pick. Baber is the correct choice. Media is called the agenda setter. Well done. True is the right choice. How many forms of water are there? Correct. 3 is the right answer. 6 mass media earns money by Dash. Excellent choice. Advertising is the right answer. Dash is an example of print media.
Good job. Your answer newspaper works well here.
Sher Shah Suri was killed in Dash. Exactly, 1545. It makes sense and it is right choice. Television was invented by. On track. John Logie Baird is the correct answer. Name the types of communication. Valid point. Personal and mass is true. Lighthouse of democracy is Dash. You got it. Your choice media is right. Who makes social advertisements? Exactly. Both make sense, and it is right choice. Ice is the liquid form of water. Good job. Your answer false works well here. What are the elements of libel?
Clear logic. Your choice, all of the above is sound and 100% true.
Media is the plural of the word. You're right. Medium is the correct answer. Akashvani is a division of Dash. Correct response. Prasar Bharati is the most accurate answer. What do you mean by mass media? Right again. Both A and B is a valid answer. Gond King had how many villages? Well reasoned. 7,000 is the correct choice. Printing press was invented in. Well picked. 1440 is the correct answer. An urban settlement is called. Smart pick. Compact is the correct choice. Sources of advertisement are. Perfect. All of the above is the correct choice. Which is a strength of media? Well done. Visual and audio combination is the right choice. 2 mass media reaches to Dash. Strong choice. Millions of people is the right answer. The revenue minister of Akbar. Nicely done. Your goods is a solid answer. List the types of mass media. Smart move. Print and digital is an accurate answer. Can you name a type of media? Solid response.
Television is a valid choice.
It is also known as new media. You chose digital media, and it is correct. TV radio is electronic media. Nice selection. Ad is the correct and valid answer. Movies are made to scare you. Good thinking. Horror is the right answer. Diamond Sutra is a LA book. Bravo, Buddhist is the answer.
TV and radio are the part of. Right choice. Electronic media is the best answer.
The idea introduced by Akbar. Excellent. Salin Fun is a brilliant choice. What does bipartisan mean? Great thinking. Involving two political parties is the right choice. Media is often controlled by. Correct. Business house is the right answer. Historical works were called. Great job. B. Barangis is the accurate answer.
Newspaper and magazines are.
On track. Printing media is the correct answer. Name one tribe in Northwest. Excellent choice. Balochis is the right answer. The period of emergency was. Sharp thinking. 1975 to 1977 is the right choice. Media is the plural form of. Nice work. You chose medium, and it is correct. Two divisions of mass media. Exactly. Both of these make sense, and it is right choice. What is the Laharia rumor? Excellent. Local newspaper is a brilliant choice. Branding actually came from. Strong choice. Cattle grazing is the right answer. Name one of noble of Akbar. Smart move. D. Kamal Khan Gaksar is an accurate answer.
Another name of landlords.
Nicely done. B. Buyans is a solid answer. In 1901, what was invented? Right choice. Radio is the best answer. What a day is celebrated on? Great job. 22 March is the accurate answer. The author of Akbarnama is? Good thinking. Abul Fazl is the right answer. Worst censorship in India? Well done. 1975-1997 is the right choice. Electronic media includes. Sharp thinking. Radio is the right choice. Media plays major role in. Correct response. Democracy is the most accurate answer. What does PIGI stand for?
On track. Pan-European Game Information is the correct answer.
Which water is drinkable? Perfect. Groundwater is the correct choice. What genre is this film? Right again. Horror is a valid answer. Who invented television? Great thinking. J.L. Baird is the right choice. Print media consists of. Good job. Your answer both of these works well here. The media influence our. Smart pick. Thoughts, felling actions is the correct choice. Lighthouse of Democracy? Well picked. Newspapers is the correct answer. Digital media includes. Nice selection. E-books is the correct and valid answer. Print media refers to. You chose newspapers and magazines, and it is correct. Print medias are dash.
Nice work. You chose newspaper and magazines, and it is correct.
Print media includes. Excellent choice. Newspapers is the right answer. Who invented radio? Bravo. G. Marconi is the answer. Understanding media. Solid response. To inform and entertain is a valid choice. Who encodes texts? Well-reasoned. Producers is the correct choice. Local media cover. Valid point. Local news and events is true. Water is found in. You got it. Your choice, all is right. Who invented TV? You're right. John L. Baird is the correct answer. TV comes under. Clear logic. Your choice, electronic media, is sound and 100% true. Identify. Correct. TV is the right answer. How you will get all these quiz questions in PDF books format? You got it. Your choice, contact Narayan Changda on Facebook is right.